I'm here with Laura Timmons, designer for Dreamtime Creations and Bead Design Team.
Yes,
welcome, Laura.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Great
welcome.
pleasure to be here.
And today you're going to show us bead soup bracelets. I love this idea.
Well, very simple technique, but I love the idea of bead soup anyways. We always have those leftover beads.
Yes.
What to do with all those little leftover beads.
And this tray is so appealing. It's so beautiful. You can pick any of these.
Yeah, oh, you can. I mean, any gorgeous glass container. I mean, anything to kind of hold your precious components. And like I said, it's just a fun way. It's actually a great even display to have in your studio as well.
Sure.
So, but you know, we just have all kinds of fun, crazy beads in there. So, you know, as far as just making the bracelet though, there's no like specific combination or, you know, you just start feeding them on.
Just pick your favorites.
Yes.
And I always encourage people to leave it in the coil as you're beading.
Yes, yes, definitely. It's much easier to string the beads on even and just kind of let them slide down and coil down. Now this piece I've kind of stepped up a notch, you know, I got to give a little bit more bling. So I've added some of the crystal mesh to it.
So pretty.
And I'm actually going to demonstrate for you how to do that, but first we need to cut our mesh. I'm cutting 4 rows wide.
And how did you decide how wide to cut it?
Just wide enough so that it will wrap around the bead.
Okay.
And I've got 10 rows deep, and this is going to go around a 10mm pearl.
Okay.
Okay.
So if we're using 8mm, then you would just cut it a little bit shorter.
Yeah, just a little bit shorter. I'm going to take this adhesive off to show you the sparkly crystal underneath, but leaving that adhesive on really helps you, it guides you. It actually makes it much easier to cut
and
the
it
mesh.
comes that way with the clear strip on it.
Yes,
right?
it does. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the last row of my mesh and feed that on. I've got a 10mm bead here that I'm feeding on as well.
And I like how you're using the monochromatic color palette too there with the shades of green.
I love doing a monochromatic palette, but then, you know, some of the multicolored ones are just as pretty. So I've got the second half of my mesh on there. I'm just going to slide that down.
Okay.
The bigger the bead, the more you can have to work with it a little bit to get it around your memory wire. Just sliding that into place. I'm just going to place a couple more beads on here and then I'll show you how to finish off your piece.
Okay.
But there again, instant gratification jewelry. Very
definitely quick.
Simple, fun, and always therapeutic. And these, of course, are special cutters as well. You don't want to just pick up any cutter to cut your memory wire because it is a very, very hard wire and you will mar your good cutters, which we've all done before.
Yes.
So you want to use those, just clip that. I've got round nose pliers here. I'm just going to make a little curl at the end. Kind of back down towards that bead.
This makes a great girls' night out project too.
Oh, so
you know, have
much
a bunch
fun.
of friends over and use your bead stash here and just get.
Oh, definitely. Great girls' slumber party, you know. Okay, I'm going to add just a couple of fun beads on here. And I'm going to do a little wire wrap because, you know, every piece of jewelry we make, there's always an additional opportunity for embellishment. So we are going to feed that onto the end of the bracelet. And obviously you can wire wrap it prior to adding that curl to the end and then just curl it in there. But
you know what, I do it the way you did too, where I loop it first just so that nothing falls off. And then I make my dangles too. But you're right. Maybe a little prior planning there.
yes.
I could do.
I know.
Make my wraps ahead of time.
And you know, I always find it important to mention too, when you're creating a wire wrap, always make sure that you're just moving your tool. You're not really bending your wire because that can weaken the wire that you have. I'm just moving my tool basically around that little wire wrap just to kind of smooth it in into its base so that those little ends of it.
You don't have any snags there.
Right, exactly. So then we've got
that looks so pretty with the mesh wrapped around the pearls. I love that.
Well, there again, it gives a little bit more movement, a little bit more sparkle, and then it's just, it's ready to wear. And you know, okay, can you find a bracelet that's any easier to put on? You know,
right,
I mean,
you don't have to mess with the clasp.
Oh yeah, so easy and yummy.
Definitely, so pretty. And let's take a look at these other bracelets that you brought. So start at the top here. Maybe just tell us a little bit about this one. It has some unusual shapes.
Yeah, you know, I've used some great aqualine beads that have a little bit more length to them. A few just like silver components as well to give it a, you know, just a little bit more zhuzh, a little bit more depth to the bracelet. And I always love using pearls and crystals together.
They do look
because
so
kind of
pretty.
that juxtaposition. And then, you know, I've got some other ones here too as well that you know, I've just used a huge mix of different types of beads and even some fabric covered beads, just some really unique components to give it kind of more of a an eclectic look, I guess
Right.
you'd say.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, and you can take it either dressy or casual. I mean, you bring in the bright colors and everything, and this gives you a really casual look. If you'd like to check out some other ways to finish the ends, you can look at our past
yes.
show.
Yes.
So, and please stay tuned for our jewelry making workshop. I'll be right back.